For my biology role model project, I chose to do mine over Craig Ventor. Craig Ventor was born on October 14th, 1946. His father's name was John Ventor, and he was an ex-Marine that became an accountant. Craig's mother was Elizabeth Ventor, who sold real estate. Craig was born in Salt Lake City, Utah, but he grew up in Millbrae, which is a small town outside of San Francisco, California. Craig and his friends were always doing something to get their adrenaline pumping. His adventures eventually got out of hand, though. In his first year of high school, he was in the back seat of a car that his friends had stolen, and they were being chased by the police. Craig ended up getting away, and from that point on, he became a follower of the law. He was always building things as a child, such as underground tunnels, forts, crystal radio sets, and many other things. As Craig got older, he began to get involved in more sophisticated projects. In high school, Craig built an electronic baseball scoreboard for his school. Craig enrolled in Mills High School in Millbrae, California in September of 1960. Surprisingly, Craig did not enjoy school, and many of his teachers were not a fan of him. Craig did not pay attention to his teachers in class, he talked when he was not supposed to, and he actually spent a lot of time in detention. His report cards mainly consisted of C's and D's. Craig and his brother ended up joining their school's swim team, and he was very talented. He won several gold medals from swimming, he set new records, and he was even featured in a lot of local newspapers. Although Craig had poor grades, his swimming skills won him a scholarship to the Arizona State University, but he did not attend. Instead of going to college, Craig moved to Southern California, where he surfed, partied, and worked just enough to pay his rent. But in 1965, Craig ended up in the Navy boot camp in San Diego. Due to the Vietnam War, he was going to be drafted into the Army, so he decided to join the Navy instead. After Craig completed his naval training, he served as a medic from 1967 to 1968 at the Da Nang Naval Hospital in Vietnam. Craig was the witness of hundreds of deaths, and his shifts at the hospital were a living nightmare. In August of 1968, he returned to the U.S. as a changed man. Craig wanted to do something purposeful with his life after witnessing so much agony, so he decided to become a doctor. As you know, Craig did not have good academic grades in high school, which was an issue for him because he wanted to get into a good university. Craig started his college journey at the College of San Mateo, which is a community college, in hopes of transferring to a better college in his later years. Craig was now a straight-A student who eventually got accepted into the University of California, San Diego, as an advanced student. At that university, a biochemist by the name of Nathan O'Kaplan heard about Ventor, and he asked him to propose a research project. Craig's idea was to study fight, flight, and adrenaline. This was a really important turning point for him because it took him off the medical path and it put him on the path of scientific research. Craig published his first scientific research paper while he was still an undergraduate student. He obtained a bachelor's degree in biochemistry and a doctorate degree in physiology and pharmacology from the University of California, San Diego. Craig is now the founder, chairman, and CEO of the J. Craig Ventor Institute, which is a nonprofit research organization that has about 120 scientists and staff. This institute is dedicated to human, microbial, synthetic, and environmental genomic research. This institute also explores the social and ethical issues involved with genomics. Dr. Ventor and his team at JCVI continue to make groundbreaking research in genomics. The most recent scientific paper that Craig Ventor was an author of is entitled One-Step Engineering of the Small Subunit Ribosomal RNA Using CRISPR-Cas9. Craig has not been an author of a scientific paper since 2016. Instead, research papers are published through his institute now. In this article, the main focus is the ability to engineer bacterial chromosomes because it is typical for understanding the functions of genes.